Fresh batch of Rockwood Hardside pop-ups just landed here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan. And this is going to be kind of an expansive video because they are well, first of all, there's several families of these Hardside RVs, and this one video is going to catch pretty much the entire A122 series. Now, there's a couple different floor plans, but they all have the exact same box and interior. So rather than chew my cabbage 4 or 5 times, I figured I could do it once and just add a couple extra tidbits here and there. So I'm going to start here with the A122S, and basically 99.9% of what I say here is going to apply to the A122, the A122BH, the A122TH, which is this sweet looking toy hauler monster over here. There's only really a couple differences between the two. I'm going to come to this one last, so if that's the one you're looking for, maybe skip ahead a bit to the video, but I'm going to talk about a lot of nuts and bolts over here. So what are these things? You know, everyone calls them the TPs, the A-frames, and A-frame is really the most popular common name for them for obvious reasons. Rockwood is two things: the #1 overall producer of ultralights on the market, which is important because that exact same construction methodology is present here in these. You know, this is built exactly like their big fifth wheels, just a little bit smaller, well, a lot a bit smaller. Now, secondly, they're the #1 producer of pop-ups on the market. They're killing it, and these things are a big reason why. So the A122S is the one that has the big storage trunk on the front, S for storage. And to give you an idea how big this is, I stuffed both the outside grill that comes with it and the dual 20-pound propane tank cover, because these come with dual tanks instead of singles like a normal pop-up, in here, and it's still got room to spare. Now what's cool, you know, a front storage trunk on a pop-up is not a new thing, but being able to use the whole thing easily even when the pop-up is set up is not common because you don't have the bed sticking over that. Now we still have side access here. They give you outside storage access to like everything they possibly can on these. So the A122S is different in that it has a front storage trunk. Then there's the A122BH, which is just like a front, I call it a bike hauler, just a front wire mesh rack with some rails where you can like bring a bike or you know, big stuff that you can set in there and chain down. Then there's just the A122, which has nothing on the front. Then there's the A122TH that we'll get to next. So basically, all you're doing is changing what's on the front of this. The other 99% of the trailer is identical. This is aluminum framed, vacuum laminated, just like their big fifth wheels, and that's what I love. The construction at Rockwood is so hyper consistent. They built the same thing the same way so many times. It's just as close to foolproof as anything can get. Again, that's why these guys are the best at what they do. So these all have water heaters. You've got an 11-gallon gas DSI water heater on this 11-gallon per hour, pardon me, 6-gallon vessel. That'll give you 11 gallons of hot water per hour. Propane powered DSI, direct spark ignition. It auto ignites itself. By the way, this thing is only 2,115 pounds with the front storage trunk as we have her equipped here. The A122BH bike hauler, whatever you want to call it, will be slightly lighter. The A122 plane is going to be lighter still. That's going to be, I think, just over 2,000 pounds. And that guy over there, the 122TH, is about 22 and some change. So they're all right in that very lightweight pocket. And that's the thing. These things are super lightweight. They're super easy to set up. Actually, at the end of the video, I'm going to take this thing down with only my left hand because my right hand is on the camera. It's just really not that hard to do. You know, I've actually had someone time me. I had one up and back down in less than 30 seconds. I felt like a bull rider. I wanted to go time when it was all said and done. Outside utility shower here, and that does connect to your water heater. Interesting thing, this is an outlet straight from your sink. These do not have gray or black tanks because the A122 family does not have you know, any sort of sewer system. Although they do come equipped, by the way, with a porta potty. They come with one that you can store under the bed. You do have a freshwater holding tank. I have to double check the capacity on that. I believe it's 17 gallons with plus the 6-gallon water heater, but it's been too long and numbers, they get blurry over time. Good looking aluminum wheels standard. Actually, while we're down here, this is important because there's things you can't see. These come standard with brakes so that, you know, if you do have a smaller towing vehicle like a minivan and you can comfortably tow this, you want a brake controller on your vehicle to help bring the sucker down. Now, speaking of towability, these are narrow body. They're not a full 8 foot wide, so they don't stick out past your vehicle. And when it's folded down, because you don't tow it like this, obviously, you don't get headwinds. this thing tows like a dream. Now again, they give you easy access to all the storage they can. Rockwood's had these little pull-out tote trough things for years. They do an amazing job, and these are all radial tires, by the way. Something I forgot to talk about on that suspension is it's a Torflex axle. If you don't know what that means, T-O-R-F-L-E-X, you gotta look that up. Basically, it's the same suspension system they use on their fifth wheels. A little noisy. I'm right by the highway, by the way. A little windy too. I hope that's not eating up the microphone. So basically, the wheels each move independently. They don't jump back and forth. It is the smooth, best ride you can get in this class. Basically, nobody uses that great a suspension on a pop-up camper. So here's the storage under the master bed. There's that little porta potty I was telling you about. The travel loo. Isn't that cute? The grill mounts out here. And you see you've got your propane quick connect there, and I love that they protect the propane connection away from that tire, which is going to be prone to throwing debris. Outside speakers, inside speakers, comes with a standard stereo, and even a nicer, bigger grab handle, which is slick. Window panel, and the door opens for ventilation. There's a privacy shade. All your windows have some form of ventilator on it. Now, one of the few differences between most of the A122 family and that toy hauler I was showing you is the cosmetic selection. In a common A122 Rockwood Hardside, the normal Rockwood Hardsides, you're going to get the Rockwood maple wood tones. And the fabric decor is always going to be pretty neutral. It may change as the year goes on. You don't order the fabric decor, you just kind of get what they're making at the time. So the one that we have in stock might cosmetically look slightly different. It's never going to look significantly different. So other brands have made these A-frames, yet Rockwood is by far and away, the most successful. Why is that? And the answer is details. The devil's in the details. There's no one glaring large thing. It's just a bunch of tiny stuff. Easy access to storage under seating, for instance. A freestanding table. If you want to, you can take that outside. Now, grandpa and grandma or mom and dad, if you have like one kid or an occasional grandkid guest or whatever, that can fold down into a bed up here for the kids. And that'll be like a 7-foot wide bed. So even in an extra adult, like if you're going buddy hunting, you know, if it's two fellas or two ladies going out for a weekend of adventure, you can have two separate sleeping spaces here so that you don't have to bunk up. Now, something we do is this comes standard with an electric heater and air conditioner, and we'll get to that in a minute. But we like to add this propane furnace down here so that if you are off the beaten path, if you are out in the sticks, you have that capacity to keep her warm. Now, they come with this big max air vent fan, again, just like their fifth wheels, so that if you are dry camping, again, you have a way to push and pull air here so that you have nice airflow going. These do have LED lights between the windows, and how small it is, I didn't really feel the need to fire them up. I thought that we were going to do just fine here, and I still think that. Now again, detail type stuff. They recess the stovetop to give you prep space where other brands do not. That kind of stuff makes a difference. Just like a pop-up, we still have a 3-way refrigerator, gas, electric, and 2 different electric ways. You got 110 shore power, then you got 12 volts. So 12 volt, 110 propane. In English, that means cold, colder, coldest in that order. 12 volt will still keep your drinks cool, and your mayo's not going to spoil on you. It just doesn't get quite as crisp. Remember that you do have a water heater, but you don't have a tank, so you basically have to have a little tote tank with you out there. Good storage wherever they could. They did a nice job of that. And this is that bi-directional heat pump. This is both an electric heater and air conditioner. You guys basically already know exactly what this is. I can give it any fancy science name you want, but basically, you know how there's a window-mounted air conditioner in a lot of houses? That's exactly what this thing is, except it is bi-directional. When your window-mounted AC is working at your house, it pumps cold air in and it billows the hot air outside. This can flip so that it can pump the heat in if you want to, and then the cold air out. Now, you have to have a certain amount of hot air or cold air present for it to work, but it works at some silly, crazy number, like from 36 degrees, like 100 and something or other. It's gonna, anytime you're gonna camp in this little thing, it's gonna do its job just fine, essentially. The mattress is heated. There's a little controller that you can plug into that, and then plug into your little outlets down here. But something I like about those outlets with the stand right here, if that's the headboard of your bed, you got a built-in little CPAP stand. Now, we've got our entertainment over there with our little stereo option. That's your thermostat to kind of control the heat on electric, on gas, and cooling, and all that right there. Now, this is as much of a pop-up trailer or like a pop-up camper as it is a fold-down travel trailer, and that sounds strange, but this has things that normally belong in a travel trailer, like TV hookups, like nice drawers, like a big microwave. You know, those are things that usually belong in a travel trailer, like the double propane tank system with the auto changeover regulator. Those are not things you usually get in a pop-up. Now, something I love, you see these big skylights right here, and we looked at a couple of these over there. People don't realize how deceptively deep they are. I am sitting right against the wall, yet I can sit straight up. You know, because your head actually recesses into these pockets a little bit. This is a true, comfortable four-person dinette with lots of seating space beside me. Similarly, if you are the person who's sleeping against the wall over here at night, instead of staring up against the wall and getting claustrophobic, you're looking up at the sky, man. You're looking out at the stars. Yet, you're you know, shielded away from that. And if you need some extra privacy or the sun's billowing down, you do have privacy shades on all these as well. That pretty much covers it. I'm going to take this thing down, then we're going to look at the inside of the other one. This is super easy to do. Remember, I only have one hand. You know, I'm just going to pop that open a little bit. Here's the trick. You always start with this one. It appears I forgot to latch that one over there when I did a quick setup here, but you always latch this one last and unlatch it first, and then work your way around. The reason being, if I bring this wall down, unless you got really long arms like mine, you can't reach that sucker. So you worry about that one last every time. We work our way around it. Apparently I didn't do that one either, but you get the idea. By the way, people ask all the time, what is that? It's just a little clothes rack, by the way. Something where you can hang some clothes. So we're going to bring this side down, unlatches, and this is all laminated ultralight stuff. You can see how I can just toss it up there. Plus there is a spring assisted system in there. And you see that little strut in the corner? That's a high wind assist so that the thing doesn't flap open on you and go flying. This is the only part right here that's tricky when I only have one hand. And people all the time go, okay, well how do you get out of it? You actually sneak right out the door as you pull this thing down. And again, I've only got one hand doing this. That's all there is to it. Close that door, give it just a quick lift, and there you go. It folds itself right down. How cool and easy is that? Even with me yakking with one hand explaining it, it only took a couple seconds. So, let's go look at our ESP series here. Extreme Sports Package! You know, if you like things like barbed wire and skydiving, it's extreme. But more seriously, this is for the outdoorsy, going out, having a good time folks. Most of this is cosmetic differences. There are only a few nuts and bolts differences. You're going to get a far more aggressive tire here. Now, the reason that you're seeing two tires is because these things ship on a double-decker trailer. This is too tall to get like under the upper deck of the double decker essentially. So it ships with this tiny little travel wheel. When you take it home, you're gonna have this big, awesome, aggressive tread pattern Westlake radial on here for you. So you've got normal size tires there, you got bigger 15-inch like fifth wheel tires over here. Now, and that's really the only difference between the two, is that the ESP series is lifted essentially. Other than that, the coach, the body, everything inside is exactly like I already told you. It just comes with that awesome looking, almost like automotive radial setup right there. Man, this color package is sweet. Now the ESP series, for folks that go, not for folks that sit, does come with a little bike rack option you see up here. I have to double check because this is new like this, that I believe that's an upgrade we added to this. Very, very cool. Now your front deck up here, wide open for tall stuff. Whereas the A122BH is good for like bicycles, this is good for like a four-wheeler, a motorcycle, something like that. Now this rail around the outside, if you look, you can actually see it's a pair of loading ramps. So your safety gates are actually even your loading ramps. They actually just have some quick pull pins you can get off there. ESP series is going to come with a little toy lock, so that at night your stuff stays where you left it. You still have room for 2 batteries. We still have the double propane tank with the auto changeover regulator. Everything I already told you still applies. The only real difference on this is cosmetics. It just looks a little different. They went with this cool metallic two-tone package, and then obviously the lifted suspension. But that gives you the clearance. Like if you're gonna go through the state parks and off in the sticks and stuff, that's what you're gonna want right there. Inside, Rockwood has, in their big fifth wheels and whatnot, 2 interior options for wood tones. We already saw the maple in the other one. They went with a little bit darker, more rustic looking driftwood here in the ESP series. A little bit different fabric, of course, but again, remember that the fabric stuff is going to kind of change through the year. But you can see how we've got just a little bit different cosmetic look in here, but it really defines the two. They do have a nice defined difference between the two. You've got all the same appliances, you got the same, you know, air conditioning system. It still comes with the porta potty I already told you about. Still got our TV hookups. All that stuff still applies. It's just in a little bit different looking package for something designed for a little more off-road use. So, whether you're looking for something to haul a four-wheeler, whether you're looking for something to haul bicycles, whether you just need the extra storage, or if you just want it small, the A122 family pretty much does everything. So, give us a call. 800, look at that spring assist system doing its job. 800-256-5196, Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan. I don't care where you live. These things are on wheels. We've delivered to them. People have driven literally across the country because we deal aggressively. We don't sell for MSRP. We don't lose deals for money. We don't lose deals, period, really. So, you know, these campers right here are how we've become one of the very largest pop-up dealers in one of the very #1 states for RV sales. So, take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone. By the way, financing, hitching, wiring, brake controls, if your vehicle needs it, we do all that here. Easy one-stop shop. We love trades. Just look forward to meeting you. Appreciate it very much. Take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.